If you're in the group of people that don't like hearing their own voice, I'm going to show you a website that'll be a game changer. If you go back to the very beginning of this channel, you'd find several videos that not only don't show my face, but don't even feature my voice. It took me a while to get used to the sound of my own voice, and in the meantime, I had a workaround. This is where ElevenLabs came in handy. I used their AI voice synthesizers, and just by simply typing in a script, I had any voice that I can think of right in the palm of my hands. So this is ElevenLabs. All I did was I created an account and signed in. What you can do from here is anything that you type into here, ElevenLabs will read it. They have plenty of already pre-made voices.
Change in all things is sweet.
As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Our distrust is very expensive.
If one is lucky, a solitary fantasy can...
Ideas are the beginning points of all fortune.
The ballot is stronger than the bullet.
Love doesn't make the world go round. Love is what makes the ride worthwhile.
What happens now is if you don't like any of those voices, you can always create your own voice or select from a plethora of other custom-made voices that we'll get to later. For now, all I'm going to do is type in a simple sentence and let's see how Brian will read it. All I did, type in a sentence, generate speech.
I want to be the very best.
And Brian will read it right away. It is very quick with its generative speech. When I used it last time, it was not this quick. Let's see how Charlotte reads it.
I want to be the very best.
As you can see, it is slightly different. And each time you generate the speech, it will be that much different. You can even change the stability of it to make it even more variable. And you can change the similarity to make it sound exactly like how she sounds, or maybe a little less. So if we put these at 3% and this, let's put at 3%. Let's see what happens now when I click generate speech.
I want to be the very best.
Every time I generate it, it's going to differ in cadence and in inflection. Now, if I wanted to change it even more, I can change the model, and the more I change the model,
I want to be the very best.
the more different it sounds. As you can see there, it kind of stumbled for a second, and that's because this model was not suited for this voice. ElevenLabs has spent a very long time on these settings, and I would suggest going with them, but the more you play around with these voices, the more you can adjust it yourself. Now, let's see what happens.
I want to be the very best. Like no one to catch them. It's my real test. Train them.
So as you can see, with the settings that I had, with stability on 3%, similarity on 3%, I had to stop it there because that was something. If I put it to more stable and more similar, let's see what happens now. Again, this voice worked best with multilingual. So it even says recommended. So let's click on here and see how much better this is now.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land.
So you can see that was a lot more stable, less variable, so her sentences and her inflection weren't too crazy. But if I changed this and I went all the way down here, the voice might get a little creaky and a little robotic-y, but the inflection will change. And so ElevenLabs does have great presets, but you can also change it to your liking depending on what you want this AI to do. Now, let's say that this voice or any of these voices are not free. You come over to the voices tab and you can clone any voice that you make, right? So here's my voice that I can use, right? So over here, and I just click my voice. This is the voice that I created back when my first couple videos. Let's see here how it sounds with this.
Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail.
Apparently my voice was a lot deeper than it was now, but that's pretty cool. So you can add your own voice, but of course, you can add any voice that you have downloaded and have the rights to. Over here is the voice library. And what you can do with this is you can sample it and it'll actually have even more languages and voices, but you can also add it straight to VoiceLab. So if I clicked Lee, middle-aged Australian male, and added it to your voices, I can change what this says. Let's just say Lee, Australian male. I'll add the voice. When I go to VoiceLab, it'll come up here. Now I can click use. As you can see, that's how it sounds. And then I click generate speech. And now we got Australian Pokemon.
Like no one ever was to catch them is my real test. To train them is my core.
So even more voices over here. You can come over here. They even have Kim Possible's voice actress. But with this one, you do have to ask. So this seems more like an ad than anything. But come over here. They have all of these different voices. Raspy, Valiant, Intimate, Tony. Any voice that you can think of, you can even come up here and filter it for the gender, for the age, language, and then if I clicked I wanted it in English with a Scottish accent. Sorry, that was really bad. Ignore that one. I can come over and filter it, and these two.
I've never been hurt by anything I didn't say.
Whether you're a seasoned vet or just starting out, this series will guide you through every feature.
These two voices come up when I click Scottish, but I can go over here, go to professional, and change this, and it'll come up immediately. I don't even have to click search, it just automatically comes up. If it turns out that you don't like any of those voices, you can always go to VoiceLab and create your own voice. You can modify a voice using one of their presets. However, what I like to do instead, and what I have done before, is come in and done an instant voice cloning. I can name it mine. And what I can do is just upload a recording of my own voice. You can actually use this and describe your own voice so that the AI will better understand what you're trying to go for. This is a recording of my voice. I am recording. The brown cow jumped over the lazy dog, and it was actually a fox, but you don't need to know that. And then I can go over here and sound like this and record even more. And then when I record, I can do this, and then I can record, and I'm saying words that are spoken, and I do this, and then when I go in, I go to ElevenLabs, and we'll create more things, and I do this, and then when I upload it, it'll be perfect. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. As you can see, changing the settings over here is very important, and some things work, some things don't. So experimentation is definitely key in this scenario. The last thing that I'm going to show you how to do, you can do projects in here, but that does require a paid version of ElevenLabs. You can dub whatever video you submit in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit a video that I actually used an AI voice for. And what I can do is it'll detect the language, and then I can change it to whichever language I want. Let's just do French for now. So I can upload my own, or I can actually search the URL. I'm just going to upload my Bruce Lee video that, if you go back and see, I uploaded almost 5 months ago. This was way before I decided to switch to AI and was doing documentaries at first. But what I can do is I'll click here, I'll upload it, and then I'll click create, and it will take a bit depending on the file size. This is only 34 megabytes. I can even include it in a project so that if I wanted to collaborate with other people with the project settings, I can do it that way. But let's click create. It does say dub creation in progress, and it'll give you this status bar. This has just finished. So now what I can do is I can view it from here, or I can download it. So let's just view it and let's see how this sounds.
J'ai un défi pour vous. Trouvez quelqu'un de plus de 10 ans qui n'a jamais entendu parler de Bruce Lee. Allez-y. Oh, attendez. Comment se fait-il que, quel que soit votre âge, sexe ou centre d'intérêt, presque tout le monde connaît le nom de Bruce Lee?
Now, I took French in high school and a little bit in college, so I'll defer to you guys if that was correct translation. But it took the audio, separated it from the video, and then redubbed all of the words into French. So now what happens is I can just download it and use it for whatever I want to use it for. So honestly, pretty cool. That took less than 5 minutes. It told me the whole way it was processing it, then it actually did the work, and then it said almost there, and then completed. Or dubbed. The longer, the bigger the file, the longer this will take. But overall, it did do a pretty good job with it. And it's not too bad in terms of like inflection and whatnot. Again, you can always tweak it and do it that way in maybe in another software. Or you can take this video and all the words that it had, get the script for it, implement it back in here, and then change your own voice as you wish. It's really up to you. That is ElevenLabs in a nutshell. If you want me to go and dive deeper into any of these voices or any of these features, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy it and have a great day.